The air was stale and musty as I stepped into Vault 77, the door hissing shut behind me. I had heard rumors about this vault, but had never come across it in my travels until now. According to the rumors, this vault was stocked full of weapons and had a dark and mysterious past. As I made my way through the empty corridors, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. It seemed too quiet, too still. I checked my Pip-Boy for any signs of life, but there were no other signals besides my own. I cautiously continued my exploration, my hand resting on the hilt of my trusty 10mm pistol. The walls of the vault were lined with posters and propaganda, showcasing the supposed benefits of living in a vault. But as I delved deeper, I realized that this was not a typical vault. The living quarters were bare and cramped, with only the bare minimum of supplies. It was clear that this vault was not meant for long-term living. But what caught my attention was the abundance of weapons scattered throughout the living quarters. Guns of all kinds, ammunition, and even explosives were readily available. It was as if the inhabitants of this vault were preparing for war. As I continued my exploration, I came across a terminal. I quickly hacked into it and found the logs of the Overseer. There were only 6 logs, and each one was dated within a span of 25 days. I read through them, my heart sinking with each entry. The first log detailed the arrival of the inhabitants, who were told that this vault was a safe haven from the outside world. The second log revealed that the inhabitants were given minimal supplies and were forced to fend for themselves. The third log talked about the first signs of tension among the inhabitants, as they fought over the limited resources. But it was the fourth log that sent chills down my spine. The Overseer wrote about a mysterious stranger who appeared in the vault, claiming to be from another vault. He brought with him tales of a wasteland filled with danger and chaos. The inhabitants were intrigued and welcomed him with open arms, but it wasn't long before they realized that he was a master manipulator. The fifth log detailed the descent into madness of the inhabitants. They were divided into 2 factions, one led by the mysterious stranger, and the other by the Overseer. The once peaceful vault had turned into a battleground, with the inhabitants armed to the teeth and ready to kill. The final log was written by the Overseer on the 25th day. It was a short and desperate entry, pleading for help from anyone who may find this vault. The Overseer wrote of the chaos and bloodshed that had taken over the vault. He revealed that the mysterious stranger was not from another vault, but was instead a lone survivor from the wasteland. He had manipulated the inhabitants into turning against each other, all while he sat back and watched. As I finished reading the logs, I couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness and anger. These people had been betrayed and led to their own destruction, all because of one man's twisted agenda. I continued my exploration, finding the remains of the inhabitants scattered throughout the vault. It was clear that there were no survivors. I left the vault, the weight of the tragedy heavy on my shoulders. As I walked back out into the wasteland, I couldn't help but wonder how many other vaults had met a similar fate. The vaults were meant to protect and preserve humanity, but it seemed that, in some cases, they had become nothing more than breeding grounds for chaos and destruction. And as I continued my journey, I made a promise to myself to spread the truth about Vault 77 and the dangers of trusting strangers in a world like this. Yay, the end. Oh right, yeah, I have to do this stuff now. Like, comment and subscribe. And please watch my other videos and comment ideas on stories.